Hello folks and welcome to March. I must say there's no change from February, still freezing cold and raining. Happy St David's Day to any Welsh viewers watching. So what we're going to be sowing in March? Well, it's not a matter of sowing. To start off with, we're going to be re-sowing. I need to show it inside this Vitapod. These are the Brassicas which we sowed probably a video or two ago. And as you can see, germination has been really poor. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure if this is due to the seed age, because I never checked the seed packet the day, to be honest. But as you can see, there's quite a lot missing. The celery and the celeriac have done okay. So I'm going to do a stock check of what we actually got germinated in here and do a bit more re-sowing. For pricking out the brassicas, I'm going to be using these 28 cell container-wise trays. As you can see, they're quite deep. And the idea being is that they're going to go in here and they'll stay in here until they're ready to go out into the final positions on the allotment. A few years back, we had an old school gardener on our side who's sadly no longer with us. And he always told me that he kept his brassicas in the pots ready to go out, but he kept them root bound and he was convinced this helped fend off the dreaded club root. The compost I'm using is from a company called Rocket Grow. It's a peat-free multi-purpose compost stage 2 and 3 with added John Innes, potting on and mature plants for organic growers. This is a company that I caught up with at the recent Garden Press event in London, and they kindly offered to send me a bag of this, a bag of seeded cutting, and also some chicken pellets, and also I'll be trialling them a bit later on in the season. I'll just spin it round, and it's got a stage 1, 2 and 3 compost, and it actually feeds for 3 months. Water retentive, fibre and structure. And one thing about this, they mentioned at the show that there's no actually coir involved in here, so be interesting to see. Anyway, let's tip it out and I'll give it a closer look at the structure. That's how it looks straight out of the bag. First impressions, nice and moist. So let's fill the trays up and we'll have a closer look. So there we are, straight into the cell trays. I'll just do a little scan across the surface. You can just see 1 or 2 little twigs in there, little fibrous things. But here's the bag. If you want to have a look in more detail, pause the video so you can read it. And there's a little QR code there if you want to scan for more details. First ones I'm potting on, these cauliflower and the Clapton. I've popped the holes already into the cell trays, put them a little bit deeper than normal and just pop them in like that. I'll bring you back when I've finished the rest. That's the first tray done. They do look a bit sorry for themselves at the moment and it seems a bit of an overkill, but I'd rather get the plug plant trainers out of the Vitapod because there's a lot of empty stations in there and fill it up with some more seed sowing. So here we have the brassicas that I've batch sown in 7cm pots, 10 different ones altogether. So there's Brussels sprouts, the crispus, there's cauliflower, Zaragoza, Sapporo, Clapton and the autumn joint. And for the cabbages we got Dog, Golden Acre, Cordoba, Tantour and the Dutchman. So looking at the package, most of them was out of date, but hopefully I'll get enough up from out of those to see me through this season, then get fresh seed for next year. At the recent Garden Major event in London, I met up with a company called Allotment, who produce a product called Rootiliser potato mist. And I'll read off here how it works. Rootiliser, natural beneficial bacteria, helps bridge roots to the surrounding soil. And they advise using protective gloves, by the way, when using this. So they say shake the bottle and get in the potato tuber, just aim the spray onto the chits. And you can do that, I think it says 8 times altogether. What I've got here, I've got 2 trays of Charlotte. So I'm going to treat the one side and leave the other one untreated. and we'll see in the next few days any progression they make. So them are the ones untreated, and they're the ones I've just sprayed. Can you tell the potato which was upside down? As we enter into March, I'm now starting to have a look at what tomatoes I'm growing. Now normally on the outside beds I tend to grow the Crimson Crush, the blight resistant variety. I'm still growing them, but in addition I've got about another 3 or 4 blight resistant ones to put in there to give them a trial against each other. I've got about 2 in, I'm still waiting for another couple from the seed suppliers. Into the greenhouse there I'll still be growing the Sweet Million and a few others, and there's 1 or 2 I'll be trying in outdoor baskets as well. For growing, starting off the tomatoes, I find nothing better than using these Agroland plug plant trainers, and I've just put the dimples in this time because they're only tiny little depressions, and I find that's enough for the tomato seeds. So I'm going to start sowing, and I'll let you catch up when I've finished these. And there's the result of our marathon tomato sowing session. I must admit this is the most different varieties of tomatoes I've ever grown in one season. Nonetheless, there's cherry tomatoes in here, trailing tomatoes, conventional, and I think there's even one beefsteak. Anyway, I'm have to use the crib sheet because I've just lost track of what I've sown. Nevertheless, let's start off on the left hand side, 46. We've got Cocktail Crush, which is a blight resistant one. 47, again another blight resistant one called Fandango. 48 is one called Montello. 49, one called Red Perfusion. Now this is a new one on me. I first saw this on Steve's Seaside Allotment Garden, and having a chat with Steve, he prefers to grow this because it crops at least 2 weeks earlier than the traditional tumbler variety, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Number 50 is my favourite flavour of the cherry tomatoes, and that one's called Sweet Million. And next to that, 51, my favourite outdoor variety, again a blight resistant one called Crimson Crush. Must have been growing that now for at least 6 years, and the flavour is still my favourite one. Anyway, moving across to the next tray, we got number 52, which is a Crimson Cherry, again blight resistant. 53, another blight resistant one called Crimson Plum. 54 is called Soderno. 55, another blight resistant, I think this one's a big one, it's called the Rose Crush. Now the next 2 varieties, 56 and 57, both of these have come from Premier Seeds Direct, who I caught up with at the recent Garden Press event, and they provided these seeds, and both of these are blight resistant. The first one's called Crocchini, and the second one is called Nagina. Talking of Premier Seeds Direct, I'm looking at these packets here, and no frills, fall wrapped, and there's the barcode on there, but also there's a QR code, so if you scan that with your phone or something like that, it takes you to the web page and gives you up-to-date information on that variety. For anyone starting out in the wonderful world of growing vegetables, it can be quite a bit overwhelming when you look at the seed catalogues and look at the number of different varieties around. However, the people at Premier Seeds Direct have sent me this little sack here. It's called the Vegetables Gift Bag, and inside there's 15 different vegetables you can grow, ideal for a beginner, all individually packed in their own cardboard containers, but even better so, attached is a booklet, full colour pictures and in-depth growing details, and you can get all of this, 15 seed varieties, for £12.99. But even better than that, they've offered me, for my channel and the viewers of the channel, a discount code of 10%. Any orders over £10 you get a 10% discount, and the code is Nigel10. So that there makes that great value for money. In the next couple of weeks I'll be sowing my cucumbers and also the courgettes. Hopefully the weather will be picking up a bit more and that the daylight hours are extending, but it's still a bit nippy. So that's it from me. Many thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I'm Nigel. Thanks for watching the MuddyBootz Allotment channel.